We went to dinner first and then we just got to chatting and it never, it was one of those, yeah, it was like what it needed to be, right? Yeah. All right, hello everybody. Hello. I am appreciating that it seems to be consistent for this class that everybody prefers.
It's not weird.
It's
It's the sun.
maybe it's a little bright. Not at all, go for it.
Yeah, so hilarious.
Okay, so what do you need from class tonight?
Grounding.
Yeah, grounding. Drop it down a little.
I concur.
Okay. So as you know, sometimes I walk around and do adjustments. Today I won't be doing any adjustments and I'll be staying on my mat because I think I also need to practice a little bit with you all. So I'm going to unusually practice with you all. Does that sound okay to you all? Okay, great. So let's actually start in a version of Stonehenge, Shavasana, where you have two blocks and then you take your bolster and you bring it to rest on top. I prefer the blocks at the middle height. For me, it gives more stability than when they're the highest height. When you lean back, the goal is to try to have your calves where the blocks are. That's the most stable part. So the calves resting on the bolster, where the blocks are, and then lean on back. Now there's lots of little things you can do to make this a little more grounding, including taking one of your blankets and bringing it across your abdomen. If your neck is a little bit tender, you can slide a blanket underneath your head like a pillow. I happen to like to curl it a little bit underneath my neck so that I have a little extra support for my neck. But please do and make this a little bit individualized to what you're feeling in your own body. And as we arrive here on our back, to at first just allow ourselves to arrive physically. To feel the back body resting against the earth, the head resting against whatever support you might have. And then from there, to shift your attention to how you're breathing in this moment. And I know sometimes in yoga, we bring really specific breath practices in, and they're all beautiful and they all have intention when we do. Yet sometimes when we focus so much on changing our breath, we don't really get to experience and appreciate how we're breathing right here and right now. And so without changing anything, or to the best of your capacity without changing anything, simply note the miracle of breath. That right now you're breathing in and breathing out. And that this little thing that we pay so little attention to every single day happens in every moment, allowing us to exist. Can you be with your breath? And now that you've been with your breath for a little bit, you might start to invite a little more length to both the inhale and the exhale. And as you're inviting length in, to also let it be comfortable. So it's not so much length that it starts to get challenging, but rather a length breath that starts to feel more nourishing, which means that your length breath might be really different than the person next to you, and that's absolutely okay. And especially those of us who are experiencing a little bit more of that stress feeling, the anxiety that sometimes shows up, or just the continuance of any rushing that you might have had from the rest of your day. Sometimes focusing on a little bit of a longer sigh out the mouth, letting the exhale become a bit more of the focus, can help to start release the pressure valve a little or a lot. And let's give ourselves a really lovely and spacious 5 more breaths. And when you get to the bottom of the next breath, it doesn't actually matter if it was 5 or not. When you get to the bottom of the next breath, use your following inhale to reach both arms all the way up and overhead, really reaching long through the arms. And if it feels okay in the shoulders and the wrists and the elbows, interweave the hands, flip the palms and reach the hands towards the wall behind you. Take a deep breath in through the nose, and then let's all together take a big sigh away out the mouth. Let it be audible. Breathe in. And let it go. And one last one. Start to reach back through the fingertips, really extend long. And then as you exhale, invite the right leg in towards your chest. Either hold around the knees, or the knee rather, or the thigh. And once you're holding around the right leg, make some circles with the knee. Interpret that how you do. And then switch the direction of the circles. The next time your right knee is a little bit closer to your right underarm, pause there. And it doesn't really matter where the foot is in space, but start to point and flex the right foot a few times. You are welcome to keep your knee bent as it is, or keeping the knee towards the armpit, bring the hands to the back of the thigh and bring your foot over your knee. So a half happy baby here. Pressing the heel up, but hugging the thigh down. Big breath in. Big breath out. One more like that. Full breath in and full breath away. From here, take your right ankle on top of the left thigh, creating a figure 4. And for some of us, this is exactly where we'll want to stay, with the left calf still resting on the bolster. And some of us will start to invite the shape in, holding around the left leg, or the left shin, the left thigh, or the left shin. Here, there might even be a little bit of slow playfulness, like letting the body rock a little bit from side to side, or letting the knee move closer and then further away.
Give yourself about 3 to 4 more breaths here, either in stillness or that little bit of playful movement. And when you feel complete here, let both calves come back down onto the bolster and invite the hands to rest on the belly. And for a few moments, take your attention down to the right leg and witness any sensations you might be feeling in your right leg. Sometimes it feels like, for me, a release of heat from a compressed joint. Sometimes it feels like my right leg is heavier, more rested, more relaxed. And now shift your attention to where your hands are resting on your abdomen. It's always just a choice though, so if you prefer not to have your hands resting on your abdomen, that's okay. But here, let's see if we can specifically bring the breath low down towards the abdomen. So feeling the belly rise in the hands as you inhale and fall as you exhale. Just a few more times like that. When you get to the bottom of your next breath out, use your inhale to once again reach the arms all the way up and overhead. Interweave the hands, and again, flip the palms away from you towards the wall behind you. Shrug the shoulders all the way up towards the ears so that the hands can move just a little bit further away. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, let the shoulders slide down a little. Take a big breath in. Maybe the shoulders lift again, but maybe not as far. And then as you exhale, soften the shoulders down. One more time like that. Breathe in. Maybe the shoulders shrug a little. And as you exhale, soften shoulders down. One more breath in as you are. Then exhale, hug the left knee in towards you, holding around the shin or the thigh like we did on the right leg. And we'll make some circles with the left knee. Start to switch the direction of the circles a few times in the opposite way. And then eventually bring your left knee towards the left underarm. And pause here as you point and flex the foot. Ooh, hello ankle, I heard that one. Every time I hear an area in my body pop like that, for me it's like a little sigh away, like, some pressure getting released. Just like our anxiety and our breath, that the little pops are really that release of the intensity, the holding, the tension. Find stillness in the foot. You're welcome to stay as you are, or now bring the hands behind the back of the thigh to lift your left foot over your knee while still hugging your knee towards the underarm. Take a few breaths here, encouraging a little compression in the hip, the front of the hip. And now, as you're ready, figure 4, left ankle on top of the right thigh. And make a choice. Does your shape stay here with the calf resting? Or do you invite the shape in towards you? And is there stillness, or is there a little bit of playful movement? Up to you. A little bit more time here as you are. When you feel complete, release your figure 4 shape down, both legs on the bolster, just for one more time here. Then once both legs are resting on the bolster, notice the left leg. How does the left leg feel in this moment in time? Observe any sensation that might have grown and then dissipated as we released. Breathe in, reach both arms overhead. And this time, as you exhale, bring the knees closer towards you as you roll over onto one side. And it doesn't matter to me which side you roll to, so whichever one feels best in your body. And then pause here for a moment with your left hand resting heavy on the ground. And really notice the palm of the hand resting to the earth. Big breath in. And then pushing into your left hand, lift yourself up to a seated position. And that could be cross-legged, it could be butterfly shape, whatever feels good to you. And you'll move your props off to the side, but keep them close by in case you want them in a little while. Doesn't matter how you're sitting in your seat. Hands come to the ankles. And then from here, start to make some slow movement in the spine. So to curl the spine back and then to lift up through the heart. Somehow connect this to your breath. So where does the inhale reside? And where does the exhale reside? Just a few more times moving that way. Then find some length in the spine and take your left hand to your right shin. Doesn't matter how your legs are, left hand, right shin. And then take your right hand to your thigh. Push your thigh away so that you tip towards the left. And drop your left ear towards the shoulder. So left hand, right thigh. And right hand, just kidding. Left hand, right shin. And right hand, right thigh. Yeah, that sounds right. And then let the body tip to the left. Big inhale here. As you exhale, engage the core just a little bit so that you're using your own strength to come up to center. Big breath in, reach the arms all the way up and overhead. And then as you exhale, cactus the elbows. Breathe and reach the arms back up towards the ceiling. And then same other side. So right hand to left shin, I think, and left hand to left thigh. Tip towards the right as the right ear gets a little closer to the shoulder. Pausing here, but there is a little bit of a push with the left hand. How much is up to you in the conversation between you and your body? Big breath in. Let it go, breath out. Then inhale, back up to center, reach both arms all the way up and overhead. As you exhale, bring the hands back behind you. Once the hands are back behind you, feet flatten to the earth so you can move the knees a little bit from side to side. So given some of what you all were sharing, we will flow, but it'll be a little more of a grounded flow. We may not even come all the way up to standing today. We'll kind of just see where the whirlwind takes us. I see at least one person who's like, that is the best news ever. I wasn't gonna call you out.
Oh, yeah.
And then eventually, when you're ready, start to make your way to a tabletop shape. Hands underneath the shoulders and knees underneath the hips. Blanket underneath the knees if you know that's gonna be helpful for you. And right away, start to find a little bit of a sway in the hips. At first, it might be really small. Then you can choose, keep it small. Maybe the sway gets bigger and you let your hips go back towards one of the heels. And the movement's great, but how does the movement and the breath start to connect? So big breath in at some point, and big breath out at some point. Bend your hips over your knees, big breath in to get there. And then as you exhale, melting heart pose, Anapantasana. Forearms, or rather hands go forward as the forehead comes towards the block or the floor. Encourage the arms to be a little bit longer here. Elbows lifted away from the floor, a little more active in the arms. And then the upper body starts to pulse a little bit. Inhale, feel the spine lift a little. And then as you exhale, let the heart and the ribs sink down. 2 more. Big breath in, the spine lifts a little. And breath out, soften the heart down towards the floor. Last time, breathe in, the spine lifts a little.
And then as you exhale, soften the heart down. Let the elbows touch the earth and then look out in front of you. Lift to an elbow version of tabletop, which means elbows stay on the ground, but the shoulders are over the elbows. And then from here, sink the heart down between the arms, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Then pushing to the forearms, sliding the shoulder blades away, as if you could lift the back of the heart towards the ceiling. Do this a couple of times. It's a little bit like cat-cow, but the movement's mostly in the shoulders. Sliding the shoulder blades away from each other and then get them close together as the heart sinks down. Last one. Come to a place in between those two extremes and either slide the knees back so you're in a knee version of tabletop or lift the knees coming into a forearm plank with the knees lifted. Whichever version you've taken, plank on knees or plank with knees lifted, curl the spine in toward your own body, then pull into the forearms and lengthen the gaze out in front of you. Connect this to your breath. For me, it's an exhale as I push my forearms down. And an inhale as I lengthen the heart forward. One more time like that. Curl in, look in. And look out in front of you. Stay here in stillness for a big breath in. And exhale, lower the pelvis down so you're in a Sphinx pose. Once you're in your Sphinx pose, pull into the forearms. Look over one shoulder, doesn't matter which one. Then breathe and bring your chin back to center and look over the other shoulder. Let the head move from side to side a couple of times like this. If you're feeling any pinching in the low back, feel free to widen your feet away from each other, giving yourself just a little more space in the sacrum. One more time from side to side. Then breathe back to center, and as you exhale, slide the hands so that they're underneath the shoulders, curl the toes under, and you get to choose, lift to plank with knees on the earth, or plank with knees lifted. And then from that shape, either head to child's pose or downward facing dog. So if you're wanting more intensity, downward facing dog is a beautiful choice. Those who just want a little less intensity, stay in child's pose or go to child's pose. And wherever you go, we have 5 more breaths. Is it in stillness or is it in movement? Make a choice for yourself. When you get to the end of your 5th breath, from wherever you are, let's step. Actually, I guess if you're in child's pose, you'll need to come to tabletop first. So from either tabletop or child's pose, or downward facing dog, inhale, lift your right leg back behind you. And as you exhale, step your right foot to the outside of the right hand. Now again, great place for a blanket underneath the left knee. If you're feeling a little bit of tenderness there. Blocks underneath the hands also give us a little more space in the heart. So if you know that would be helpful for you, please use blocks underneath the hands. And then from here, we'll start to just make a little bit of movement in the hips. That could be back and forth. It could be big circles in the hips. You choose. There may even be a little conversation happening between you and your hips. Keep it in the kind realm versus the unkind realm. Come back to a place of stillness where your knee is over your ankle. And then of the toes you have on your right foot, lift all of those toes and come towards the outer edge of the foot, only as far as your hip and your ankle say is okay. There might be something interesting to explore there. So maybe there's a little sway from side to side. Could be circles again, up to you. If you're wanting a little more intensity for 5 breaths, curl the back toes, lift off of the back knee. Just a little more intensity here while staying on the outer edge of the foot. Breathe in, breathe out. If your back knee is lifted, the next breath or so, bring the knee back down. Then swivel the left foot, so the back foot, wide, and and slide the right leg back so you're in a side plank variation, right foot on the floor, left hand on the floor, and lift the right arm up towards the ceiling. Take a deep breath in and reach the right arm overhead, making a big crescent shape in the body. Then as you exhale, cactus the elbow, bring the elbow towards the ribs, fingertips above your gaze. And let's do that a few more times. Breathe in, reach the arm long. And breath out, cactus the elbow. One last time like that. Then after that last time, both hands come down to the floor, both knees come down to the floor, and the left arm lifts up towards the ceiling. Big inhale here. And we'll move with our breath, thread the needle, left arm under the right. Breathe and reach the arm back up towards the ceiling. And 2 more times like that, curl it under. And one last, this time we'll stay there in the shape in our thread the needle shape. Left ear to a block or the floor. More balance challenge, tense up onto your right fingertips and send your right leg up and back behind you. Breathe in. And breathe away. On your next breath, if your right leg is lifted, lower the right shin down. Everybody pushes into the right hand. Inhale, lift the left arm all the way up towards the ceiling. And then both hands come down to the earth. Breathe in, drop the belly, open up through the heart. And as you exhale, either child's pose or downward facing dog. Give yourself 3 breaths, this time in your shape. If you choose downward facing dog and that's not enough intensity, what about taking a breath or 2 in plank and then coming back to downward facing dog? You choose. Then from either downward facing dog or tabletop, so making your way there if you're not quite there. Inhale, the left leg lifts up and back behind you. And then from here, we'll bring the left foot forward to the outside of the left hand, however it gets there. Please use blocks if you want a little more space across the heart. And just like on the other side, start to make a little bit of movement here. It could be back and forth. It could be circles in your hips. Up to you. This hip has its own story, its own life. And so as you go into conversation with this hip, can you notice what this one needs? Start to bring your left knee over the ankle and then lift all of the toes you have on your left foot and come towards the outer edge of the foot. And once you're there, what kind of movement would you like to make here? Is it side to side? Is it circles again? You choose. Giving yourself space to explore. If you added intensity on the other side and would like to here, tuck the back toes, lift off of the back knee while staying on the outer edge of the foot. Just another breath or so there. Then everybody has right knee down. And then with right knee down, pivot your right foot wide, knee stays at center, and step your left leg back. Coming into a side plank version, reaching the left arm up towards the ceiling. Settle in the shape, then use an inhale to reach the arm all the way up and overhead. And as you exhale, cactus the elbow. Let's do that 2 more times. Breathe in and reach. And breath out, bend. Last go, breathe in and reach. Exhale and bend. Breathe and reach the arm. And as you exhale, both hands, both knees down to the earth. And it's the right arm that lifts towards the ceiling. Big breath in, thread the needle 3 times. I was going to say thrice. Thrice times. Thread the right arm underneath the left, and inhale, reach the arm back up towards the ceiling. And twice. And the final thrice. So once the right hand makes its way through and we settle in, pause there. And make a choice of what you'd like to do here. Does the left leg want to stay grounded or tent up onto your left fingertips so that the left leg can start to lift up and back behind you? Breathe in. Breathe away. On your next exhale, if your left leg is flying, start to lower it back down, both shins on the earth. Flatten left palm, and all of us reach the left arm all the way back up. And exhale, hand connects down to the earth. Breathe in, drop the belly, open up through the chest. And then either stay in downward tabletop pose or come to downward facing dog. You choose. And we'll be here for just one breath. When you take your next inhale, look forward towards the top of your mat. And as you exhale, walk your feet forward to the outside edges of your hands so that you're in a standing fold with a wider shaped leg, your feet position. And here, in this forward fold, the breath might feel a little more compressed, a little different. So notice how breath feels and see if you can find some spaciousness in your breath here. Breathing in fully and breathing out completely. Breathe in fully and out completely. Last time like that. Then from here, fingertips come down to the ground, so bend the knees as much as you need to. And then bending through your knees more, set the hips all the way down between your heels. Now, squat pose is not for everybody. If it's not, you can either use blocks underneath your sit bones to give yourself some more support. You could come into a butterfly shape instead, the bottom of the feet together, sit bones on the ground. I really like the support of a blanket under my heels because it gives me a little more grounding a little sooner, so there's less intensity in the joints. But wherever you go, start to decide if stillness or movement is the right choice for you here. Movement might mean letting one knee knock down towards the ground and then come back up to center and then the other. It could be letting the spine curl and lengthen. You choose. We have 5 more breaths here. How would you like to spend those breaths? Notice how the mind responds to this. Is there a place that you can soften? Is there a place where your breath can exist? Let this be the last exhale when you arrive there. Fingertips come down to the floor. Inhale, the hips start to lift up high. The feet stay wide. Let hands come to opposite elbows as you sway a little bit from side to side. Let the chin tuck in so the back of the neck goes long. Big breath in and big breath away. Just another moment here. Then eventually come back towards stillness. Hands get heavy towards the floor. Bend into the knees. I guess I lied. We are going to come to standing once. Unravel the spine. Come all the way up to stand tall. Shrug the shoulders towards the ears and release the shoulders down. Now, because we've not been standing for a while, if you're feeling a little bit wooey works. We'll go with it, whatever. Wooey, just take a couple deeper breaths, right? Know that your feet are on the ground, and this is as far as you need to go. If you're feeling a little bit like, whew. And those of us who want just to add a little bit more, start to let the shoulders move from side to side as the arms start to sway. And then the arms might start to have a little bit more freedom, meaning that they're less controlled, which sometimes means they kind of like knock the body a little bit. If you like that sensation of the release of the gentle press of the hands knocking the body, you could go a little faster, but only if you want to. Letting the upper body release some of the tension that might exist there. Slow it down. Even if you were already slow, slow it down until eventually the movement becomes the most subtle sway that you feel it, but from the outside it's really hard to see. Let all of your attention sink down to your feet, except for the muscles that have to stay active to hold us here. Soften all of the muscles towards the ground. Let your body get a little bit heavier to sync with gravity, which might even mean the bones bend a little bit where they're supposed to at the joints, not in the other words. Then inhale, take both hands to the sacrum, palms on the sacrum, thumbs point out, squeeze the muscles between the shoulders, lift up through the chest, look up towards the ceiling, big breath in, and sigh, wave. Let's do that 2 more times. Big breath and lift up through the chest. And as you exhale, curl the chin towards the chest. And 1 more time like that. Big breath in, lift the chin, lift the chest. And sigh away. Just 1 half sun salutation today. Big breath in, sweep the arms all the way up. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Let the arms go wide as you fold. Take a deep breath in, half lift, lengthen the spine. And as you exhale, refold. Bring the fingertips onto the earth, and however you get to your seat, find your way to your seat. Now, I'm gonna really recommend, like strongly, but it's still a recommendation, it's just a strong recommendation, to take your blanket and to fold it so it's this amount, which is like a hot dog style fold from where we often have the blanket, which is here. Opening it up once and then folding it the long ways. And then we're gonna sit on the edge. If you're like, oh, I like this, but I want more, fold 2 this way and sit up on the edge. It is kind of important that your pelvis is on the edge because that edge is what allows the pelvis to have more freedom, which is what we're looking for. If you feel your low back really scrunched and curling down, that might mean more blanket would be helpful. So use your second blanket in that way. With the left leg, we're gonna make a 90-ish degree angle. And with the right leg, we're gonna cradle it either with our hands or with our elbows. Lift up tall through the chest, create just a little bit of a rock here from side to side. After a little bit of rocking, we'll explore the idea of the right ankle resting on the left knee. If your body said, yeah, that does not happen, the foot just goes right in front instead. Okay? If your body said, that happened, but hey, what's happening here? Build some support between that distance. Once you have the leg sorted to whatever support feels good to you, take the hands to the foot and the thigh and round the spine back. Then big breath and lift up through the heart. Squeeze the muscles between the shoulders. Let's do that a couple of times. If your foot is in front of the leg, it's sometimes more beneficial to press into both thighs instead of the top foot or the front foot. Might just feel a little more accessible to movement there. And then the next time you feel the heart lift, pause for a moment and notice the places where most sensation lives. Is that the outer hips? Is it the low back? Is it the knees? Gauge that intensity between a 0 and a 10. And if we're at a 6, how might you ease up a little bit? Could that mean fingertips back behind you? Would it mean bringing the foot in front of the knee instead? If you're anything below a 5 and you would like to create a little more intensity, you could start to fold the body forward to the place that you go, or rather until you find that 6-ish amount. We are gonna be here for quite a while. This will be our first technical yin pose, our melting pose. So let that help guide you. If you're here longer, the intensity often grows with time. Letting the intensity be a sustainable amount. As quiet arrives more into our practice, can the breath become a little bit more of the focus? Listen to all the options before you make a choice. Staying here as you are. Or adding a twist, and there are 2 different twist options. If you are upright, you'll want to find upright first as you twist. If you're folded forward, it's more of a side bend, bringing your hands to the right. So it's either a twist to the right or walking your hands towards the right. Either upright, making it a twist, or still folded so that you're stretching the muscle in the low back called the QL. We'll take 3 long but easy breaths. Since all of us took something to the side, when you finish your 3rd breath, you'll stay folded if you're folded, but walk back to center. If you're upright, you'll unwind to center. We'll take 1 breath here, then if you're folded forward, walk your hands towards your leg. Yes, you, I think. And just the top leg starts to release. Take all the weight to your left leg and just let the right knee windshield wiper a little bit. Then at some point, we'll let the knee continue to reach down towards the floor, and we'll bring our weight more towards the left, but the hip is likely not going to touch. So the foot and the knee are not necessarily touching unless that feels less intense in a good way for you. Otherwise, we're looking at both legs being separate at 90-ish degrees. Looking towards the front leg, bring both hands towards just the space in front of the front leg. Lift up tall through the chest. And then let's just take a few rounds of seated cat-cow here, because even here, moving the spine might change what we feel in one or both hips. On this leg, I happen to feel the cow shape really deeply into my acetabulum, my hip. And as I pull out, I feel more space in that area. You might feel the same, but you might not. Especially if it's different than from what I said. Can you get a little curious about what you feel? Inhale, lengthen the heart. Stay upright or start to fold down over the front leg. Find the bottom of your exhale. Ground the palms down. And lift a little bit out of the shape. Walk both hands all the way over to the left. Pause there, really lifting the heart towards the window side of the room. And then lower the left elbow down onto the floor and sweep the right arm up and overhead. Now, you might let the arm kind of rest on top of the head. You might instead take the hand behind the back of the head to reach the elbow long, which exaggerates the stretch. Or make it softer by bringing the right arm down by the hip. We have 45 breaths. How about 3? If the
the top arm is in any way, start to bring the top arm down by the hip. Push into your bottom hand, lifting the torso. Both hands back behind you. Both legs go wide. The toes go out and in a few times. Then either stay upright using your hands to create some scaffolding so that you can soften onto the structure of the bones, letting the muscles do less. Or hinging at your hips, start to fold forward, inviting some stretch on the back of the legs, the thighs, the calves. If you felt that stretch sitting upright, can you trust that? Can you trust that that's enough? Take one more breath here, then inhale, lift the torso. And the right knee starts to make a 90-degree angle. We'll cradle the left leg with our hands or our elbows, rocking it a little bit from side to side. Then make a choice. Is it ankle on top of knee or foot in front of knee? Hands come to either the knees or hand to foot and knee. And in either case, start to move the spine a little bit. Love the different supports I'm seeing. Even just a cover of a blanket, right? Making the pose just a little bit more comfortable for you. Start to consider that idea of 0 to 10. And maybe to add a little more intensity, you start to fold forward. For less intensity, hands become a little bit like scaffolding. Each hip is different, so what is this hip asking of you? Notice what happens in the mind here when we're asked to stay in stillness. And for some of us, there might be some intensity in the shape. So how do we respond to being asked to stay in stillness while experiencing intensity? And maybe, even if that intensity exists, we can still encourage the breath to be slow, easy, spacious. Teaching our body that two truths can exist simultaneously. Even when our brain doesn't want to believe it. Where you are, start to come up to a seat. Oh, so sorry, I forgot our twist. So if you're low, lengthen the spine and walk your hands towards the left, giving your low back muscle, your QL, a little bit of a length. If you are upright, make sure that you are upright as you twist to the left.
Another breath or two here. If you are folded and over to the side, come to center, still folded. If you are upright, come to center, unwind. If you're folded, take one more breath, then use your inhale to come all the way up. We'll take the weight over towards the right hip so that the left foot can come to the floor first, and then we let the knee move a little bit from side to side. Then after the knee moving from side to side a few times, send the foot behind the knee so that you have two 90-ish degree angles in the leg. Hands come to the space in front of the shin, and take just a little bit of time to move the spine forwards and back. At some point though, fold over the right leg. And our last little addition here, letting the hands walk over towards the right. Lengthening the heart over to the right, and maybe folding into the shape. Bottom of your next breath out. Slide the right elbow down to the earth and lift the left arm up. It could rest onto the head. You could hold the back of the head to reach the elbow longer, creating more length. Or rest the left arm by your hip. Just 3 more breaths. When you get to the bottom of this next exhale, push into the bottom hand, engage a little bit of your own core strength to lift. Unwind the legs, you can wiggle, do whatever you'd like, and then think about how would you like to take Shavasana. Would you like to end the way you began with the Stonehenge version? Would you like to take the bolster underneath the knees or underneath the back? However you'd like to take Shavasana, start to find your way there. Know that I'll be having my eyes on the room. And then I'll let us know when class is complete. And it's never graceful when I have to turn the lights off, so just know it's happening. As you find Shavasana, to take a deep breath in through the nose. And open mouth, sigh. Take few more breaths in awareness. And then let your awareness drift, the body rest. For the more subtle parts of you to find receptivity. Take a deep breath in and open mouth, sigh away. As slowly as you can imagine, let your head roll from one side to the other. Let your feet wiggle. Feel an outstretch in the fingers. Eventually reach both arms all the way up and overhead, really reaching long. And as you exhale, curl into yourself, rolling over onto one side. Push yourself up to a seat. See if you can notice, how are you feeling now in the body, the heart, and the mind in comparison to where you started? And there's no right answer, so simply checking in. And house sweep both arms all the way up and overhead. And as you exhale, hinge at your hips, fold forward, curl chin into the chest, and take a deep breath of gratitude for yourself, for the ground that exists within, the stability that exists within. Then inhale, lift the torso up, bring palm over palm at the heart, inviting this gratitude to settle here. From my heart to each and every one of yours, thank you for being here, for breathing with me and with each other. From my heart to each and every one of yours, Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om peace within, peace surrounding, and peace throughout. Take your time as you're putting your props away. Move slow if you can. Know that the next class is probably here and in a different energy, excited to come practice. So sometimes it's nice to kind of zone out as you're leaving. Thanks so much for joining us online.